Hello.
Hope everyone's having an awesome weekend. So we wanted to bring a video that talks about our top 10 tips to travel to Disney World. So if you're coming from a little bit of a distance, even if you're not coming from a little bit of a distance, we came up with our top 10 tips to help make that travel a little easier.
Yeah, tips and tricks. So I'll get right into it.
Yeah, Mommy?
Say hi, Dylan.
Say hi, YouTube.
Say hello. Say hello, YouTube. Dylan's joined us on this video, which is awesome. The first tip.
To my lap.
You sit right there.
The first tip that we have is ask for free cups of water. Now, a lot of you guys may know about this trick. A lot of you guys may not know about it, but if you go into like a quick service or even like the little stands that they have sitting around that serve ice cream or beer or churros or whatever, if you go up and say, hey, can I get a cup of water, they'll give you a free cup of water. Now, I know for us personally, from years past, we spent so much money on like bottled water. You know, I think they're like $3.75, $4
Yeah,
pop.
almost $4. And it's Dasani water.
Yeah. So if you go up to a kiosk or go up to a quick service, you know, wherever, they'll give you a free cup of water. And Dylan further reiterated that point. It's true. So again, this video is our tips and tricks. I'm sure there's a lot of other videos out there that have tips and tricks. This is just the 10 that we think are most important for Disney travelers and first timers or even seasoned vets. I mean, sometimes we kind of forget these tips. So yeah, ask for free cups of water. It's important to stay hydrated, especially during the summertime. If you don't want, again, if you don't want to pay $3-4 for a bottle of water, ask for free cups of water. And the cups are like big, like cups of water, not like the tiny ones that you used to get. Most places will give you I want to say it's like a 18, 22 ounce like cup of water, ice water.
No.
So yeah, what's our number 2?
So our number 2 is don't try and do everything in one trip. Be realistic. So the magnitude that is Disney World, you have to consider that it's 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, a ton of resorts. Each resort has activities. There's miniature golf, there's lake activities. There are activities for anyone and everyone to do.
Not to mention Disney Springs.
Right.
I mean, it's incredible.
So, this is an important one. This is one I think that a lot of people forget about or don't think of. A lot of people think that they're going to be able to go to Disney World and do everything that they want to do. Especially if you're traveling with a large group, that's going to be impossible. You're not going to be able to do every little thing that every single person wants to do. So keep that in mind, unless you break off. So keep that in mind that the Disney World is such a large resort that you're not going to be able to do everything that you want to do. And so make time to do the things that are most important to you. And then if you haven't been able to do everything you want to do, that is all the more reason to come back to Disney World later and do more stuff. We still have not done everything that there is to do. We haven't even scratched the surface.
I mean, we've scratched the surface. We definitely have not done everything. And neither has Dylan. To reiterate Jen's point, I mean, Disney is 47 square miles.
My name is Dylan.
His name is Dylan. Right? Yeah. How old are you going to be on your birthday?
3.
Yeah. Again, Disney is 47 square miles. I mean, there's no, if anybody thinks that they can see everything in even like a week, even 2 weeks, that's just unrealistic. Don't overdo it. Don't expect to do everything in one trip. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen families scrambling to get from one ride to another, and not taking into details, not slowing down. They want to cram in as much stuff as they can in a short amount of time. It's stressful. It doesn't make for a good vacation. Have realistic expectations.
We've also seen families not only try to ride every single ride there is, but on top of riding every single ride there is, trying to see every single character and get mad when the character has to leave because they're done for the day. Because they've been... Good job.
In case you guys don't know, his name is Dylan.
Yeah, he just wants everyone to know that his name is Dylan, and he's a Disney fanatic also.
Yeah.
And so, like I was saying, we've seen people get mad because they walk up to a character and the character is getting ready to leave, and they're like, but it's the last day of our trip. We haven't had a chance to see it. If you want to do those things, do them earlier on in your trip. Make that... Make those things some of the first things you do when you get to Disney instead of the last things you do.
Absolutely. So be realistic. Disney's not going anywhere. I mean, odds are you're gonna come back for a second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th, 15th, 20th trip. So be realistic. You're not gonna see everything for sure. So the third tip kind of ties into our number 2 is have a plan. Don't wing it. If you know you're going to Disney for a week, 2 weeks, even 3-4 days, have a plan. Kind of map it out before you leave. Know at least what park you're going to on what days.
Yeah, and if you're staying in the resort, know what parks have extra magic hours and which ones don't. So you can choose to utilize them if you want to, or choose not to utilize the extra magic hours.
Exactly. So have a plan. Don't wing it. I've heard of so many stories of people just, oh, we're going to Disney World. We're just going to show up and do whatever. And they get there and they're like, oh my goodness, I had no idea that this was such a massive park. I had no idea that this was on such a huge scale. I had no idea there was so much to do. So have a plan. Pick out what's important to you, what you guys think you would want to do. Accommodate for your family. Accommodate for anybody that's going with you. Friends, co-workers, I mean anybody. Accommodate for that, for sure. So what's our number 4?
So number 4 is book your 3 fast passes early in the morning and relatively close together. So this is a trick that we learned. We didn't know this right off the bat, so when it came to fast passes, we were just booking them whenever we felt like was a good time to book them. But with the fast pass system and the way it works, you can use your say you get 3 fast passes for the Magic Kingdom, you can use those fast passes.
Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, Dylan loves the Magic Kingdom.
Found it. Blow it up.
Awesome. So as I was saying, say you use those 3 fast passes, you can get more if more is available, but you can only get 1 at a time. That's why if you use your fast passes earlier in the day, so if the park opens at 9, I would recommend having your first fast pass at 9:30, 9:45, or even 10 o'clock, and then 11 o'clock or 11:05, and then 12 o'clock or 12:10 or whatever. That way you can utilize those fast passes early on in the day. And if you choose to park hop later, you can...
Apparently he's discovered the range of the human tongue. Cool.
Like I said, if you use your fast passes and you want to park hop, you can still get 1 fast pass at a time after you use those first 3. So the earlier on you book them, the more efficient you'll be with your time later on in the day. Yeah,
I mean, it's, again, to reiterate what Jen said, try and book your fast passes relatively close together early in the morning, so that way, you know, you're not spreading out 3 fast passes over the course of a full day. So you don't want to book a fast pass at 9 o'clock. You don't want to book your second one at 3. You don't want to book your third one at 9, because then you're really centering your whole day around the fast passes. So if you schedule them close together early in the day, and you have all 3 of them knocked out by 12, 1, 2 o'clock at the latest, you can book one additional fast pass after you use your third one. So you don't necessarily have to plan your full day around 3 fast passes. So again, if you book them early in the morning, you knock them out, you know, you kind of have free reign on what you do next with your fast passes. So
with all that being said, along with the fast passes, do know that you are not going to be able to ride every single ride that you want to ride on a fast pass.
Yeah, that goes.
You're going to have to wait.
That ties into our previous trip of you're not going to do everything. I mean, Magic Kingdom alone, I think, has 30 something attractions.
And that's just attractions.
Yeah, so just be realistic, plan what is important to you and your family, and book your fast passes early in the morning. Bunch them together. Trust me, we've learned this the hard way, and we found that if you book them early in the morning, group them together, your day goes so much better. You have more flexibility as far as scheduling your day and seeing shows and riding other rides.
You're also more likely to be able to ride rides multiple times if you book your fast passes early on in the day. We have booked, for example, Space Mountain at 9 o'clock in the morning, and have gotten to the parks a few minutes early. They allowed you in a few minutes early. Space Mountain was a 5-minute wait.
Mm-hmm.
We rode that ride 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
They want Michael Patterson.
Remember that name.
It's gonna be famous one day.
I'm sure of it. All right, so going into our number 5, book dining at especially popular restaurants at least 6 months in advance. Particularly Be Our Guest. You know, it goes without saying, book your dining as early as you can. Don't go in the day of and say, hey, I want to eat at Be Our Guest, and expect to walk in and have them seat you. It's not going to work like that.
And actually book reservations. Don't think that you're going to go in and walk into some of these bigger name restaurants at the parks.
Exactly.
Because you're not going to.
And if you do, you're lucky. I mean, it's happened. I don't think we've ever actually gotten lucky enough to just walk into a big name popular restaurant and be seated. A lot of these tips, you know, seem obvious, but you'd be surprised. People overlook these things. So book your dining as far in advance as you can, for sure. So what's our number 6?
Number 6 is park at one of the water parks for free and shuttle to the theme parks. So I always hear a lot of people knowing what the expenses are of Disney because they pay for their tickets online, but then when they get there, they did not realize they had to pay $20 a day to park. There are ways around it. You can, 9 times out of 10, depending on where you're staying, if you're staying close enough to the resort, you can shuttle from your resort, from a Disney resort, and from off-property resorts. They do free shuttles as well.
Select off-property, not
all of them.
Not all of them.
You can also, if you are driving, you can park at the water parks for free and take a shuttle over to whatever park you would like to go to. There's also a couple of resorts that you can park at. So, like I said, some of the resorts you can park at for free, but that's only if you have a reservation at one of their restaurants. And you can monorail over to the parks.
Monorail shuttle, yeah, I guess I should have added that. You can park at Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach and shuttle to and from the parks as you please, along with most of the Disney resorts. You can park there and shuttle and back and forth. That way you don't have to pay for parking.
So if that's what you want to do, I would recommend making a reservation for breakfast at one of those resort restaurants.
Absolutely.
So you can, and a lot of places that do breakfast will do character dining for breakfast. And a lot of times you can make reservations early enough that you can still get to the park when they open. So you could make a reservation at one of the restaurants and monorail or even shuttle over to the parks, and you don't have to pay for parking.
Yeah, kind of to add on to that, Jenna mentioned character dining. If you have kids, I guess this is an extra tip. Try and do at least one character dining meal.
You won't regret it.
Right, we did our last, 2 trips ago, and at Tusker House, and we absolutely loved it. I mean, it was just so awesome for the characters. I mean, they came around 2, 3, 4 times. Goofy, Minnie, Mickey, Donald, I mean.
And Daisy.
And Daisy, yeah. So if you have kids, even if you don't have kids, make it a point to at least book one character dining reservation. It's amazing, it's magical, it's what it's all about. That's what Disney's all about. So absolutely, take the time to do that if you can.
Yeah.
For sure.
So what is tip number 7?
Tip number 7 is a very important tip that, again,
huge.
It sounds like, common sense, you would think to do it. A lot of people don't. Don't overdo it. Take that break. Especially during the summer months. A lot of people, this kind of ties into our other tip, they want to cram in as much as they can. Meanwhile, it's 95 degrees with a heat index of 105.
Yeah, remember you're in Florida.
Yeah.
So not only is there a heat index, but there is humidity.
Yes.
And not every queue, but a lot of the queues start out outside. Or will wrap around outside at some point during your wait time. So remember that if you need to take a break,
take a
break.
We kind of had a reality check our last trip in June. I mean, we got out there and it was just like blistering hot. We were trying to do a lot, and we're kind of preaching to ourselves, take that break no matter what. Especially if you have small children, or people that are sensitive to the heat and are prone to, just getting overheated or anything like that. So take that break, go back to the resort, go back to your hotel, take a 2-hour break, come back to the parks later. It's amazing what a break will do for you. Don't try and power through it, because it's just gonna make you miserable along with everybody in your group miserable.
Yep.
Don't overdo it. Like I said, odds are you're gonna come back for a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th visit. So just don't overdo it, please. Don't overdo it. I mean, we had mentioned in one of our other videos, an older gentleman had passed out at Universal, while we were eating lunch, and he just passed out, and paramedics came in, and that was kind of a reality check. We're like, wow, this is just a reminder to slow down, getting some AC, go into a store, get some AC, get some free cups of water, hydrate. So what is our number 8?
So number 8 is, I say this is my favorite only because I'm the one who does this every time that we go. And I feel like very organized in doing this. So our number 8 is make a packing list. Don't guess what you think you need. So I have a list that we use for every long Disney trip. And then I have a list that we use on the shorter Disney trips. So we travel with a small child. So my list is gonna be probably 10 times longer than those people who are traveling just as 2 adults going to the parks.
Right.
So the things that I include on my list, and this is not my entire list, so don't think this is the only thing I take. The things that I include on my list are...
Well, I think that's going to be a separate video. We're going to make a separate video on what to pack for just a couple and like a couple,
a family
with children. So stay tuned for that. I don't want to go too much into detail about that. We're going to make a separate video for that.
Yeah, but I was going to say must-haves are things like Motrin or ibuprofen or whatever if you feel like you're going to get overheated, or feel like you're gonna get a headache on some of the rides. And another very, very big must-have. Yes, baby.
Mommy.
Yes, sweet boy.
Milk.
Can I get you milk in just a minute? Okay. So, excuse me, sorry. So like I said, one of the must-haves on my list every single time, regardless of the weather, is ponchos. And those ponchos, because we take a stroller with us, I will get you.
Mommy.
Yes, baby.
I want milk.
Okay, I will get you some milk.
We'll get you milk in just a minute.
In just a minute, Bubby. So like I said, ponchos go with us everywhere we go,
Yeah.
whether the forecast calls for rain or not, because let's face it, you're in Florida.
Yeah, I mean,
It's going to rain.
Florida weather is unpredictable. I mean, that's just how it is. Be prepared.
Mommy,
Yes, baby.
please.
Okay.
Can I have a high five?
So, what is number 9 on our list?
Number 9 is have a budget for your trip. Simply put, plan on how much you want to spend on your trip, okay? And set aside that amount for, souvenirs, food, drink, any other extra stuff that you plan on doing. Don't just show up and be like, oh man, I want this, and next thing you know, you're spending $200, $300, $400, $500, even more than what you originally intended. So make a budget, for sure. It just makes things go so much smoother. It gives you peace of mind. Just make that budget and know what you're going to spend. Know how much you're going to spend on lodging and, again, food, all that. Pre-plan it and just have fun. Don't go on the trip worrying about how much you're going to spend. Just make a budget. That's it.
Do you want to mention how we've done it?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So the easiest way that we have come up with to make a budget is we have gone and gotten prepaid Visa gift cards.
Mm-hmm.
When the gift cards run out, that is our budget. And so we have sometimes undershot our budget by a little bit, and sometimes have overshot our budget. But we're at the point where we've gotten a pretty good idea as to how much money we're gonna spend in the parks now. And if there's multiple people traveling in a group and there's one person paying for it all, get enough Visa gift cards to give to everyone.
Right.
So they can use them.
Yeah, again, we're not professing to be Disney experts. We are simply sharing our knowledge, our experiences with you guys, and giving you our tips on what we learned by trial and error and what works best for us. And hopefully you guys can take this and apply it to your next trip or multiple trips down the road. For sure. So yeah, Visa gift cards work great. You pay for them, they're already paid for. Have enough to cover what you think your expenses are going to be, and just plan around that and be realistic. For sure, that budget is good.
Yeah, it's great.
So what is our number 10 tip? Our 10th and final tip.
This is a big one. This is a huge one. Get to the park early.
Again, it sounds like you guys already know that. Well, a lot of people just think that they can say a park opens at 9 o'clock and they leave at 8:45 from the hotel. Oh yeah, I'm leaving at 8:45. We're gonna get there, say Magic Kingdom, right? Where you have to park at the the ticket center and take a monorail or a ferry boat over to the actual park. A lot of people are just like, oh, I'll leave at 8:45 and get there by 9 and we'll be in the gate by 9 o'clock. It sounds simplistic, it sounds basic, but you would not believe how many people don't take into consideration the amount of time that they need to have to leave early and be there at the parks at a reasonable hour to get in and do what they want to do without being bombarded by crowds.
Right. And also, if you're driving, know that if you get to the park early, you get a better parking spot.
Right.
That's closer.
Exactly.
And then you don't have to always wait on a tram or a monorail. Like, obviously at the Magic Kingdom, you have to either take the ferry boat or the monorail. But you don't have to wait on the tram to take you to the front gate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, plan accordingly. Get up an extra half hour early to be at the parks. I would realistically say be at the parks at least a half hour before they open.
Yep.
You know, just so you have peace of mind of, okay, I'm here early, I can go to what rides I want to ride, knock them out in the first hour, and then kind of take it easy from there. So be at the parks early. Don't leave at 8:45 thinking you're going to be there at 9 and get through the gate at 9 o'clock. That's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No.
So plan accordingly for that.
Plus the opening ceremony shows that they have at every park
They're really cool.
are unlike no other show you're gonna see throughout the rest of the day. So they're super cool.
Yeah. So again, that get to the park early. And with that being said, those are to us our top 10 tips and tricks on traveling to Walt Disney World. And these same tips can be applied to any other theme park, Universal, Six Flags even. I mean, these are the things that are most important to us that we go by, that help our trips go a lot smoother.
Yep.
So anyways, if you guys like this video, give us a like, subscribe if you haven't, and leave us a comment. Just tell us what are some of the tips that you guys go by. Do you agree with our tips? Is there anything that you would add? We would love to hear from you guys. Again, we love doing this. So again, like, subscribe, comment. And until the next video, live your themed life.
And make it special.
Bye-bye.
Bye.